Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to our Sunday gathering. If we haven't met yet, I'm Sandra Champlain. For the past 119 weeks, we have been coming here at this very same time to deliver a very special service to you. Our theme today is being unstoppable in the face of challenges. Now, this Sunday gathering has been in the plans for about 2 months. Our guest is Rosemary Musacchio. She will be doing our address today, and she has helped me pick the music, helped me pick the theme, and it sure has been great for a little help. But as always, things happen, so we had to change things around just a little bit. And Carrie and Phil, as you might have heard, have a special visitor to their house right now, and it's called COVID-19. Maybe not so special, but I think eventually it's something we're all going to have and survive. With that, we have our beautiful Shirley Ann Sharp, who will be doing our medium demonstration today. We're so grateful that you stepped in for that. Carrie and Phil are with us. You will hear from them. They are bright-eyed, bushy-tailed as always, and we're so grateful for them being here. We also have my great friend Darren Wynn here as well. So you never know if things could change during our service today, but we are totally unstoppable in the face of anything that comes our way. In fact, just before I signed on, my internet went out. So I was like, okay, this is our theme today, and we're going to make it happen. So with that, we're a family. We welcome you wherever in the world you are, even though there might be a computer or a tablet or a phone in your face right now and you're viewing us. You are a very real part of our community, and we're so grateful you're here. So I'd like to turn it over to Darren for the opening prayer, please.
Thank you for that wonderful welcome, Sandra, and that wonderful theme that I'm sure we're all going to thoroughly enjoy this week. So if you'd all like to join me in closing your eyes for that opening prayer. We come together once again here today, united under that banner of We Don't Die for our Sunday gathering. We unite together from different countries across our globe. We unite together speaking different languages and different dialects. We unite together from different backgrounds and different understandings. But today we all come together and unite as one for that possibility of uniting the two worlds together as one. And as we enter into this experience, we do so in the understanding that we leave our daily lives to one side and enter into this experience, putting aside our own wants, our own needs, and our own desires, and enter into this experience with an open heart and an open mind, knowing that anything and everything can be possible, and allow our dear friends, helpers, and loved ones from that world we call unseen and our workers here we see today, to be free and uninhibited to work freely. We ask that our friends, helpers, and loved ones from the unseen world join with us here once again today, and allow your words and thoughts to pass through the minds of our workers here today, which will in turn bring us all those moments of joy, happiness, healing, and an upliftment. And as always, our dear friends, our workers here today find it an absolute joy and privilege to work with your world and for your world and represent your world. And we hope we can truly do you proud here today. As we open our Sunday gathering of being unstoppable, we enter into this experience with nothing but love within our hearts, smiles upon our faces, and are driven forward with our unstoppable knowledge and understanding that life and love is completely eternal. And as we go forward this week, we ask that a healing light continues to shine across all four corners of our world to bring that moment of love, joy, and happiness to all those hearts and minds that may be in need at this moment in time. So without further ado, friends, we welcome you here today. Amen.
Thank you so much, Darren. And you have me for the reading. Well, first of all, our title of the reading is 15 Traits of Unstoppable People. And I pinched this from Entrepreneur Magazine, written by a gentleman named Deep Patel. Now, I want to ask something of everyone before I start reading. Have you ever heard the saying, you could either be on the court or in the stands? I want you to put yourself on the court for this reading, meaning listen for the gold for you and your life. Don't just listen from the stands. Pull it in as to how does this apply to me? Unstoppable people keep their inner fires burning by developing the characteristics necessary to become successful. Unstoppable people are like warriors. They are always ready to take on the world. They are guided by a light from within, full of boundless energy and unwavering in their goals. They have learned to activate their natural talents and develop the skills necessary to achieve whatever they aim for. How do they do this? Where do they find the stamina and strength to keep going? Unstoppable people keep their inner fires burning by developing the characteristics necessary to become successful. Here are 15 traits that will help you go from being an achiever to being a truly unstoppable person. Number one, they believe in themselves. Gutsy or bold, use whatever term you like. But the bottom line is that confidence is the key if you want to be unstoppable. You have to have the courage to put yourself out there in the first place. You have to believe that you have what it takes. Mental challenges will be among the biggest obstacles you face, the kind that make you question yourself and what you're doing. Without a healthy dose of self-confidence, you'll be tempted to accept defeat when you should be finding a way to bounce back from failure. 2, they develop a clear vision. Every path to success starts with a vision. It's what gives you direction. It's your vision for working as hard as you do. Once you have a vision for what you want your future to look like, you need to set a series of goals to achieve this dream. This is your plan for getting there. Your vision is your mission and should be something you have clearly defined and written down. It's a chance to put your thoughts, ideas, and values into action. It's also the benchmark you can use to chart your progress, to see how far you've come and remind yourself where you're going. 3, they take action. Unstoppable people don't wait until they feel secure before making big leaps. They jump right in and they keep going. From that first push to get the ball rolling to those decisive moments when you must correct your course, action is fundamental to success. Making big decisions and taking leaps of faith can be both terrifying and exciting. It's your chance to think big and to be bold. Sometimes inaction is hidden behind other issues, such as poor time management and lack of self-discipline. Stop waiting and stop making excuses. If you want to be relentless, put your energy into action right now. Fail to do so, and your vision will sit on a shelf, gathering dust. 4, unstoppable people persist through life's storms. You can be the most talented, intelligent, and creative person out there, but without persistence, you are doomed to mediocrity at best. Successful and unstoppable people know they must dig deep and find their grit if they're going to reach their goal. They don't let hurdles hold them back. They find a way around obstacles to keep moving forward. Persistence is a habit you must develop to get you through tough times and to keep procrastination from getting the best of you. Long-term dreams are a labor of love. You must be there day in and day out, rejecting discouragement and remaining focused on your objective. Unstoppable people are self-aware. Becoming self-aware allows us to understand ourselves as unique individuals beyond the roles we play with friends or family or being in society. Being self-aware means understanding who you are underneath it all, your patterns of behavior, strengths, and weaknesses. Unstoppable people take time to understand themselves on a deeper level. By doing so, you'll be empowered to build on your strengths and see where self-improvement is needed. Self-awareness is key to goal setting, which is paramount to anyone who is unstoppable. Number 6, unstoppable people keep their lives balanced. Sometimes to keep moving forward, we must take a step backward. If you're exhausted, unhealthy, unhappy, and unable to maintain your energy, you're probably treading water. Being relentless means maintaining a healthy equilibrium, and that means tending to the body, to the mind, and to the soul. Keep your ability to pursue everything else on this list. Work-life balance is key to avoiding burnout, releasing chronic stress, and avoiding other mental health issues such as depression and anxiety. I need a sip of water. Hang on one second, and then I'll be unstoppable once again. Okay, unstoppable people adapt to change. They don't panic in the face of change. They understand the importance of being flexible and embracing new developments and innovations. Being adaptable means having an elastic mindset and adjusting as your environment shifts. Every industry will go through disruption and sweeping change. Those who are relentless don't allow themselves to be thwarted by change. They understand they must be resilient and versatile or risk becoming ineffective and irrelevant. You either learn to bend and flex, or you will be broken and get discarded. Number 8, unstoppable people are fully committed to their goals. Are you letting life happen to you, or are you shaping your life through the power of sheer will and hard work? Unstoppable people develop habits that keep them focused, and they cultivate an insatiable hunger to go after their dreams. You must find your inner conviction and then feed that desire by making it a core part of yourself. Why are your goals so important to you? Ask yourself that question and repeat the answer to yourself every day. Number 9, they are motivated from within. Unstoppable people have an internal drive that propels them to success. They are intrinsically motivated, meaning they have a deep internal desire or impulse to pursue their goals. When motivation comes from within, it tends to be more meaningful. You feel compelled to keep moving forward, even if there's no reward. Intrinsic motivation, on the other hand, is usually based on some kind of an external reward. You decide to take a new job because it offers a better financial compensation. But the allure of external incentives, they subside over time. Those who are truly driven and are unstoppable aren't doing it for the fat salary or benefit packages. They are doing it because they feel they must. Number 10, they take responsibility. Taking responsibility has 2 parts. Your answer for your mistakes and failures. You answer for your mistakes and failures, but you also take credit for your successes. Relentless people own their failures as much as they revel in their accomplishments. They acknowledge and learn from both in order to gain wisdom and knowledge to pursue even bigger dreams and goals. Taking responsibility is about acknowledging that you and you alone are in charge of your life. You are in the driver's seat, and no one else can dictate your future. Number 11, they surround themselves with other high achievers. Relationships are an important part of life because we often reflect on the attitudes and behaviors of those that we spend time with. Spend too much time with negative people, and you may find yourself drifting off into a very pessimistic mindset. Successful and unstoppable people surround themselves with good company. They gravitate toward other go-getters. Look for others who inspire you and whose insights open your mind to new possibilities. Number 12, they are voracious learners. Our ability to learn and grow is key to our ability to improve and innovate. To be unstoppable, you must embrace learning. You should be an avid consumer of information and be constantly seeking to educate yourself. Becoming a voracious learner feeds your mind by allowing new connections and new ideas to flourish. Those who relentlessly pursue their goals never stop seeking to expand their understanding and increase their knowledge of the world around them. Number 13, they are never fully satisfied. Relentless and persistent people are never fully satisfied with their achievements. They feel compelled to keep pressing on, to keep looking for that next big thing. They don't allow themselves to slack off or rest on their laurels of their past accomplishments. Unstoppable people are always in pursuit. They stay focused on the next challenge and continue pushing toward the next level of excellence. Number 14, they develop mental resistance. With ambition comes mental pressure, and sometimes that stress is a heavy burden. Many people crumble under stress, consumed by anxiety and tension. To become unstoppable, you must develop the mental fortitude to handle adversity and failure. Developing mental toughness will keep you strong, determined, and focused during the rocky times, and will help you keep your emotions in check when you need to be strong. Unrelenting people don't run from adversity. They realize that faith is a chance to prove that mental fortitude is the voice. You are tougher. And number 15, they don't waste time on ego or jealousy. There's a huge difference between self-confidence and ego. Self-confidence is when you understand your worth and you believe in yourself. Ego is when your sense of self becomes overly inflated and you become focused on self-interest. Ego and arrogance are often closely related to jealousy and resentment. Unstoppable people understand that ego and jealousy operate out of fear. They recognize that if left unchecked, these emotions will get in the way of their success. Conversely, humility will bring out the best in those around you. Pride and resentment are a waste of time and energy. Someone else's success is not a threat to your own advancement. Their achievements don't spell your failure. Ditch the defensiveness and stop making it all about you. To be truly unstoppable, focus on results, focus on making a difference for others, and keep your mind open to new possibilities. Wow, that sounds like the team I hang out with, you guys. So we are going to go into our healing song right now. My friends, I hope you feel empowered and unstoppable. Healing is very rare and very real, not rare, very real. And I'm going to ask you to either watch the music video or close your eyes when the song plays and surrender yourself, whether you believe in God, the universe, spirit world, those unseen. I'm here, I'm your battery, I'm powerful. Take from me what is needed for healing. Anytime you give, you also receive. If you have a special loved one in mind, you can certainly have your intention on them. All right, here's our song. is my profound pleasure and it's just amazing, absolutely amazing. We have our good friend Rosemary Musacchio here today, who will be giving our address. Rosemary, my friend, thank you, and over to you.
Thanks so much, Sandra. I'm so honored and happy to be here with you, Darren, Phil, Carrie, and Shirley Ann. The theme for this Sunday gathering is challenges, a topic I know so well. I'm hearing all of you saying, "Duh." When I was born, the doctor asked my parents, "What do you want to do with her?" Mom and Dad looked at each other thinking he can't be serious. Then they exclaimed to the narrow-minded physician. They used a more colorful term, "We are keeping her." So this began my challenge of living with a disability, specifically cerebral palsy. The disability, caused by brain damage at birth, has prevented me from walking, talking, and using my hands to perform daily living tasks. I have been discriminated against by educators, gawked at by strangers, and neglected by caregivers. I have had aspirational and regular pneumonia many times. Once doctors had to insert a feeding tube in the left side of my stomach because I kept aspirating food in my lungs. My parents and I have been so determined, some called it Italian stubbornness, to overcome those challenges. Despite my inability to hold a pen or pencil, I graduated college as magna cum laude with a bachelor in communication, wrote a column for a local newspaper fittingly called Bit of a Challenge, and write blogs. Despite my inability for my fingers to hit keys, I'm the Chief Accessibility Officer for a Virginian-based company and own an accessibility consulting business. Although I cannot use my feet to move from point A to point B, I went hang gliding twice, rode horses, rode a motorcycle, and skied. Although I can't move by myself, I've fulfilled my childhood dream of traveling to many European countries, including Italy many times. Even though I can't express love as many women can, I still had a magical, beautiful relationship with an able-bodied man. We faced many challenges. For instance, despite experiencing severe side effects for an infusion to treat cancer, he took me on a road trip. He felt so sick, yet he took care of me, including bathing and feeding me. One of the places we stayed at was a motel that had about 20 narrowed fire-escaped steps. He flung me over his shoulders like a sack of potatoes, a term he used humorously to describe me, carrying me up and down these steps. Then he transported my wheelchair up and down those steps. For most, the trip would be a total disaster. In fact, I was sure our relationship would end after the trip. Instead, it became stronger spiritually. Challenges can do that to people who deeply loved each other as we did. Challenges force people to notice the essence of each other's soul, deciphering if the love is genuine and unconditional, if the concern is real. 10 months after our road trip, my soulmate passed. Yet another challenge I had to face. A counselor suggested I should get over my grief in 5 months. Otherwise, I'd have a psychological problem. I felt the same way that my parents felt after the doctor insinuated to institutionalize me. Grieving is an emotional and psychological barrier that we face. We must handle it in our own ways, let it morph into something bearable in our own time. Grief doesn't have a time limit or an expiration date. It may never end. For me, I couldn't cry my eyes out for several months and then dwell in a numb soul, or let the most beautiful thing I ever experienced fade from my life. Since I was a teenager, I've had a deep interest in the afterlife, reading many books and watching films on the topic. I was so afraid of dying that I used to stay awake in bed thinking about it, terrified of the potential eternal blackness. Like each fear that has confronted me, research quelled it. Even before my soulmate passed, the research escalated. It helped a lot, reassuring me that this wasn't the end of him, of us. The night that he passed, he made sure I knew he still was with me. The toilet flushed by itself. His humor hadn't died. A few months later, as my caregiver was dressing me, my locked wheelchair rolled a few inches backwards on my flat bedroom floor. We actually heard the metal brakes grind against the rubber of the wheels. He was confirming a dream about him before I woke that morning. Although those signs consoled me, the grieving continued. I paid for 3 mediums within a 6-month period. My soulmate came through with solid evidence each time. I was thrilled, of course, but thrills are temporary. I needed to communicate with him myself. I needed lasting spiritual fulfillment. It's like eating tiramisu, that rich Italian dessert. Although the whipped cream is delicious, you become full by eating the ladyfingers dripped in espresso and chocolate. So I drummed up enough courage to attend my first mediumship practice circle. Fearing that the group would be freaked out by my head pointer, I didn't turn on my video monitor. The next week, I was brave enough to turn the monitor on. Nobody stared, winced, or commented. They accepted me wholeheartedly. There I made my first spiritual connection. Every time I'd get a piece of evidence accurately, I'd ask so surprisingly, seriously? I still do that today. Yes, my soulmate has come through many times in practice groups and, as Sandra reminds us every Sunday about loved ones communicating, I'm learning to quote, hear, unquote him. Participating in these groups and Phil's and Carrie's classes have helped me manage my grief and find inner joy. I also have realized that I can give other people joy, many who only had practiced with me for 5 minutes. I've made cherished friends, too. If you don't face challenges, you are not living. So obvious, and yet we think our challenges are insurmountable at times. You can do this. The this is whatever you want to achieve or manage, whether the challenge is parenting, working, or even getting up in the morning. As Tim so eloquently said last week, our lives are colorful tapestries. Each piece of our own tapestry is a knot that we attempt to untangle to weave with other piece until you come to another knot. The untangling of knots is living life. You know the saying, you gotta put your mind to it? You have to put your soul to it first. You can conjure many strategies to face a challenge, but your soul, your inner force, has to put the strategy in gear. And what sparks that inner force? Love. Love of yourself, love of others, love of your job, love of your country, love of nature. Sometimes we become so involved in the struggle to jump over hurdles that we forget to ask our souls why. Ask it why, and you'll get the right answer every time. Again, thanks so much, Sandra, for having me on today.
Oh, Rosemary, that has been such a delight to listen to. Thank you so much for coming on. Sandra's internet has frozen slightly, but Rosemary, that has been a beautiful address. And on behalf of Sandra and Darren and Phil and Shirley Ann and myself, absolutely, thank you very, very much. It has been an absolute pleasure. As we move into that space, we're going to take that theme that Rosemary's been talking about, that unstoppable, the unstoppable Rosemary, the unstoppable Darren, and now the unstoppable Shirley Ann. Shirley Ann's going to be working on behalf of us. We know that Sandra has temporarily left this meeting and now she's back in because she has the music to play before Shirley Ann comes on. But it's an absolute pleasure to be able to have Shirley Ann work on behalf of Phil and I today. But from one person to the other, Rosemary, once again, thank you. And I'm going to pass you back to Sandra.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as our theme is being unstoppable, my internet went out again right after Rosemary spoke. So Rosemary, thank you again. Oh, I'm tuned in now through my cell phone, so I don't know how clear my picture is, but hopefully you can understand what I have to say right now. We are moving into our demonstration of mediumship. And like Rosemary said, our loved ones are around us. We have the wonderful Shirley Ann who will be doing our demonstration today. What this looks like, if you are new to us here, we will play a piece of music, just all get into that zone, invite in our loved ones to be close, even though they're already here. And Shirley Ann will have a visitor of someone in the spirit world that will use her thoughts, her memories, her feelings, and she will do her best to give a few initial bits of information about this person. Now, we want you to be on the edge of your seat listening in. If this is someone you know and love that no longer walks this earth, we want you to press your raise hand button. Now, if everybody just wants to look on your screen right now to find their raise hand button, you can press it right now, see what happens on your side. And then now it should say lower hand, and you can press that button again and put your hand down. Sometimes it takes a couple of minutes to find out who this communicator in the spirit world is here for. And when we determine the person, I will ask you to unmute yourself. Now, you don't see an unmute button right now. It's not there yet. I have to do some magic on my side, so that will happen. If you end up working with Shirley Ann, please let her do the work. All we need for you to do is to say yes, no, or I don't know to the information that she gives you. Simple as that. And please don't think if your loved one doesn't get through, doesn't mean they're not here. The spirit world all work together so that these voices, these messages are heard. And if you listen closely enough, you'll just find that it was just the right thing for you to hear as well. So with that, I'd like to play our song. And again, if the quality isn't great, we're going to just do the best we can and roll with it, because that's all we can do. I know Phil and Carrie will be there to fill in with song. You should hear Phil sing a tune if the song should break. So Phil, it'll be over to you for the song. I know you're going to kill me after this, but anyways. And we are going into our 4th of July celebration, our Independence Day here in America tomorrow. So Rosemary has picked the song Firework by Katy Perry for today.
Hello, Sandra. How are you?
Doing great.
Yes, it has been a morning of challenge, and thank you so much for allowing me to be here this morning under not so good circumstances to our 2 sick ones.
We're grateful.
Being very supportive. Now, it's my absolute pleasure to work with everybody this morning. And as I'm moving my awareness, I feel as though, as I was listening to that song, Fireworks, I feel as though I have a young lady here this morning. And I know this young lady enjoyed music, even to the extent of this young lady being in her own band. So we are looking for a young lady here who would have been in her own band. And I do actually feel this would be daughter.
Very good. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can understand this information. If you'd go ahead and press your raise hand button, please. Okay, we have Jane with her hand up. And Jane, you can now look for that unmute button and press it. Hi, Jane.
Hi, Sandra. Hi, Shirley.
Welcome.
Hello, Jane. You would recognize this to be your daughter, Jane.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Do you know, I feel as though this young lady would have been very, very good on the guitar.
No. Well, ukulele.
Ukulele. If that's incorrect, then I love ukulele. But would she have had a passion for the electric guitar, even watching it?
No, I don't think so.
We do have another hand that has come up, Shirley Ann.
Okay, thank you, Jane.
Okay, thanks.
Work out who this is.
You just stay where you are, and we have Elaine.
Elaine, can you understand this information?
I not in a band, great on guitar, but did sing, love music.
Okay, and Elaine, she would have liked to have been in a band. It almost feels like even a group of people at home getting together, but people of her same age, her peers.
Yes, again, not necessarily a band, but performing or singing informally with a lot of people.
Okay, Elaine, may I work with you? Thank you, Jane. Okay. Elaine, as I work with you, I know this lady, she was literally a little box of fireworks. You can understand this.
Yes.
And there were times I almost want to say crackers would go off and you would get such a surprise and turn around and go, what?
I'm not sure I understand that. I'm not sure I know what you mean.
All right, Elaine, I'll put it in a different way. This young lady was exciting and could be quite unpredictable.
Yes.
But an absolute joy to be around, because I feel as though when this young lady walked in a room, she could light up a room with a smile.
Yes.
But I do know in her quiet moments, and you would be aware of this because I feel as though she drew close to you in her quiet moments.
Yes.
And you and your daughter would share quite intimate information about her life.
Yes.
And you would also be aware of certain struggles that she was having with people around her.
Yes.
Okay. And I know with this young lady, she had such a positive outlook. She would try and battle through anything that was put in front of her, Elaine.
Yes.
Okay. But I do have to say, in the end, I would like to say it got the better of her, can I say?
Correct.
Yes. Now, I know that you have a lot of things around the house that remind you of your beautiful daughter.
Very much.
Yeah. And I feel as though this young lady, you know, I want to say to you, I know that you talk to her a lot, and it's almost like I feel her right beside you a lot of the time. Can you understand that, Elaine?
Yes.
Okay. And I feel as though there's been, I want to say perhaps 2 friends that you've actually kept in contact with your daughter, through your daughter.
Yes.
And they're very important to you, because I feel as though they hold her memory very much alive as you do.
Yes.
Elaine, am I correct in saying there's an anniversary with your daughter coming up?
You mean of her passing?
Yes, I'm going to say of her passing.
It was in May.
It was in May, okay. And I know that at this remembrance, there were people that showed up that you didn't think would show up.
I guess you could say I was surprised about how many people, yes.
Okay, thank you. And this is just a testament, because I know through this experience with your daughter, you have at times questioned your parenting, but seeing these people turning up in memory of your daughter, that helped you a lot with those types of thoughts.
Yes.
And you know, your daughter's making me smile at the thought of how many people did actually turn up, because I feel like there were quite a few of her girlfriends that turned up.
Yes, many friends.
Because I can feel flowers being laid and roses and just really beautiful things.
There it was wonderful. A lot of people there, a lot of love.
Elaine, also at that celebration, I feel as though there was a poem or a reading by one of your friends.
There were several people speaking.
Okay. But I feel as though there was a gentleman, a male, that was particularly close to your daughter who was present as well.
Yes.
Okay. And she just wants to acknowledge his presence because it feels like she draws close to him as well, because it feels as though, you know, he has struggled with her passing also.
I believe so.
Yes. You know, Elaine, I'd like to leave you with your daughter's love. And I would also like to say to you, it feels like, you know, plans moving forward for you. It feels like sometimes your confidence gets knocked like your daughter's did, can I say?
Yes.
And it's like she's just, you know, I've got your mum, I've got your hand. I really feel as though your daughter is with you on a daily basis.
I hope so. I feel like I'm with her on a daily basis.
Even to the point, my love, where I feel like you lie down at night and you feel her head come near you.
Yes.
She's making me very emotional at the moment, but it's more out of love for you. If I could actually transmit the depth of love that this girl wants to pass through the screen, I think we'd probably blow up the internet. We'd definitely be taken down.
I feel it. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I'll leave you with that. Brighten up your day, my dear. Put that smile on your dial.
Thank you, Shirley Ann. I appreciate it very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Elaine.
Thank you for that, Elaine. Now, as I leave my awareness in the spirit world, it's just so wonderful, the feeling there. I feel like I have a young man coming forward, and I feel as though this young one, I'm not going to call him a man, I'm going to call him a boy. And I feel as though he did have problems with his legs as well. And this boy met a lot of challenges in his life. And I feel as though he did pass away. And I want to say like a degenerative disease. It was something to do with the bones. Can I throw that out there, please, Sandra?
Yes, thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you can understand this information, press your raise hand button, please. No hands up just yet, Shirley Ann.
Okay, all righty. So I do have this young man here. I feel as though he passed early in his life, and I feel as though there was a bone issue, because I can feel as though he had problems walking. He needed assistance in walking. Well, Sandra, can I ask that question one more time out there, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this may not be somebody in your immediate family. This might be someone that you know of in your life. So just maybe think a little bit outside of the box.
I do feel as though he would have also had to have used crutches at some point as well.
We have Donna Marie with her hand raised. Donna, if you could unmute yourself. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Good morning, Donna Marie. You would recognize this young man passing early in life.
Yeah, he had a bone disease.
Okay, thank you,
and
Donna
disabled.
Marie. Thank you, Donna Marie. And you would have known this young boy's family.
No, I only as relatives on a professional basis.
So you would have known him on a professional basis.
Yeah.
Correct. And I know that you would have spent time with this young lad, though, in your working day.
Yes.
And you would have laughed a lot, because I feel as though you gave him more attention. He's letting me know more attention than others in the care facility.
Yes.
And you had a real bond with this young boy, because it's like you're throwing this banter to and fro, and he enjoyed it. It's almost you would come into the ward and he would light up and you would make a beeline for him.
Yes.
Okay. Now he's also making me aware too, Donna Marie, you took him, am I correct in saying you took him little special treats? Like I do feel the odd lollies and things coming in there that perhaps shouldn't have been in there.
I did special treats, yes.
Yes, because he enjoyed those. He waited for those, because I believe this young lad was on a very strict diet.
Yeah, I was renowned for that.
All righty. And I know, Donna Marie, you were very much in his corner, because even with the medication that he got, you know, sometimes you would raise questions about his treatment that he was having, medication and treatment.
Generally, yes.
Because I feel with this young lad, sometimes he was kind of pushed, you know, all out of trying to make him, you know, help him recover and give him more comfort. But sometimes he was really pushed and he was really exhausted when he'd finished his treatments.
Yes.
Okay. And he's also making me aware here, and I do hope you can remember this, a memory of you just sitting beside his bed, and I just feel you just stroking his head, just trying to calm him down and get him to sleep.
Yes, that's correct.
He's, you know, Donna Marie's just coming through with so much love with you for that. It was like you were the sunshine in his life. Although he had people coming to visit him, it feels as like towards the end of his life, the visits got a quite spaced out, can I say?
Yes, I tried to encourage it, but...
Yeah, I think, yeah. And I think through that, you helped him with his confidence. He feels as though you used to build him up, because he would see the others in his care centre having visitors and things like that, and he did feel very, very much alone at times.
I would imagine so, yes.
And Donna Marie, you knew that he was actually quite clever, because I can feel books around this young lad.
Yeah, that's
He had
right.
a very inquiring mind. And I also feel too, he would have asked you questions about what he had and how his treatment was going and how it would affect him.
Not verbally, no, because he was non-verbal, but we could sense each other.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Well, you know, he's just coming forward to say thank you so much for all your empathy and your love. And, you know, I feel very much he's with you, trying to help you with different things that are going on in your life at the moment.
Absolutely, thank you.
I also want to say, Donna Marie, you helped him understand himself. And it's almost like this young lad wants to return the favour.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Donna Marie, for working with me. Just
thank
a
you.
wonderful, wonderful soul.
Thank you. I needed to hear that. Thanks.
Okay, lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Sandra. That's just wonderful. All righty. Now, I do feel as though I have Mum in the spirit world with me here too. And I know that Mum passed with an illness. And I do feel the recipient, the daughter here, I feel had a lot to do with Mum's care. Or I have to say tried to have a lot to do with Mum's care. Because Mum was a right battler. And I have to say, sometimes Mum's words could be quite off-putting, so people would want to stand back. Can we throw that out there, please, Sharon?
Yes.
Sandra.
That's okay. We have Karen and Bobby. We have two with their hands raised.
Okay. Actually, I'm surprised there's only two. But let's continue. Now, I know Mum's tongue, and I want to say, could be razor blade on both sides at times.
Wow. All right. We have four with their hands raised. I could take all the information.
All with the hands.
Keynote, everyone. You get to take all of the information. Okay.
And
Many
I do feel you would be aware that there was a situation where medication was given to calm mum down.
Okay. I'm going to lower everybody's hands, and if you can take all the information, including medication to calm mom down, go ahead and press your raise hand button again.
Now, I also feel with mum, there was a particular member of the family who had tried to come and visit and had succeeded at one point. But this person, and I feel it as a male, would really upset mum. This person would really, really aggravate mum, upset her terribly.
Thank you.
Still have 3?
Oh, we're down to 1. Well,
we're down to 1.
We're down to 1.
Okay.
Latona, are you there?
Hi, good evening.
Hello, and a couple other hands just went up.
Okay, Latona, can you understand every piece of this information?
I can, but my mum's sat next to me and I feel it's more relevant to my mum. I may need to repeat anything you ask because she's a little hard of hearing, but I think it's more relevant to my mum.
All righty, all righty.
What's your mom's name?
Jill.
Jill? Okay.
Let's just keep working here and see how we go. So we have mum in the spirit world. We know that mum got ill, very ill towards the end of her life. She would have had to have medication to calm her down because she would get very, very, very upset. You know, and I'm even going to drive that to a point in her illness that she actually got a little bit violent.
Yes.
Yes? So Latona, you can recognize that. Would your mum recognize an incident where there was actually a lamp thrown by your mum, by her mum?
Thrown by me.
Thrown by you, okay. Okay. Latona, thank you. If I could work with you, I feel I am with you. And this lamp was actually thrown out of absolute pure frustration, but I don't actually feel it was only with mum. It was also with the doctors and the medication that they had supplied.
Yes.
Okay. And I actually feel a decision come up towards the end of mum's life, and this decision was about medication given that could go either way because of the medication.
Mum says yes.
Yes, and I know this decision weighed very, very heavy on the family, but they made that decision in the best way they could. But even now, mum still thinks about that decision that they made that night.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All righty, and I know with your mum, Latona, the decision that they made, it's weighed heavy on her for a while, you know, because am I correct in saying that your mum had the last say?
I don't think I did, no.
She's not sure.
Okay, but your mum had an influence in that decision that the family had to make.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Righty. Now, I know too with your mum, through all the ups and downs with her mum, the bond, the strength of the love between them, you know, as strange as sometimes our love can be, was very, very strong.
Yes.
Your mum understood her mum through with everything that your mum had to go through and the issues that mum had to face bringing up the kids, because I know that wasn't easy.
Yes.
Yes.
And I know some of the kids in the family, it sounds funny calling your mum one of the kids, but some of you did feel as though the childhood that you lived was not good. However,
right.
We're all aware that mum did the best she could with the time she had, with what she had.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very, very much for that. And I know that your mum has tried to do, I almost want to call a 360 on the way she was brought up with you. Would you know that Latona?
Latona, yeah. Princess.
Okay, so your mum's tried very, very hard with your upbringing to change it from the way she was brought up.
Certain amount, yeah.
Certain amount.
Because I feel that your mum has been much more supportive of your life, can I say, than as opposed to the support that she received in her life.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I feel with mum, she had to be a right battler. She had to, you know, she had to find her own feet. She had to walk her own walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, I just feel like mum is coming through with so much love, and Latona, for your mum, so much pride. Like it's almost like mum standing here saying to me, I did that and I'm proud of it, because your mum has come so far in her life. She's climbed a lot of mountains that I feel some people would not have faced in their lifetime. Would you understand that?
Mm.
Yes.
Okay, so I just would like to leave you with your mum's love and pride. There's a huge amount of pride here. Can I also ask too, have you had a new grandchild come into the family over the last few years? 2 years?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and she's also acknowledging this wee one because it's just a sparkly little light, and I feel like this little one's come into the family and really lifted everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's quite exciting times in your household, and I'm just feeling the words, don't expect it to calm down too soon.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay, so you have a wonderful day or evening wherever you may be.
You too. Take good care of you.
Thank you. So
Thank you, Latona and Jill.
another one, Sandra?
Yes, you do, if you'd like.
So I have a gentleman in the spirit world, and he's quite exciting actually. He's showing me himself in cowboy clothing. So I do feel he would have actually been in rodeos.
Wow. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, do we know a gentleman who used to be in rodeos? Please raise your hand. If yes. Diana has her hand raised. Diana, could you press your unmute button? Hi, Diana.
Hi, Sandra.
Welcome.
Diana, and this would have been a family member.
He was not a family member, no.
He was not a family member, but he was very close to the family.
Yes.
Okay, and this, I want to say this gentleman has, he has, I'll just say guts and courage with
Yes.
what he would do in these rodeos, because I feel as though this gentleman could stand in front of a bull and you know, if it was him or the bull that was going to move, and I think it was a split-second decision.
I actually wouldn't know that, but so it's an I don't know.
He had that type of courage.
Yes, he did.
And I'm not sure of the terminology, so please excuse me. He would have been on the bucking horses.
I don't know that either, but like bronco riding, I suppose you're referring.
Right. Would you be aware that he actually did it at a competitive level?
Yes.
Because I do feel as though he was quite successful at what he did.
Yes.
But I do know he did suffer certain injuries through some of the rodeos that he did do.
Yes.
And I feel as though there was a back injury that was actually quite serious.
I'm not sure.
We're not sure of that. But you would know that, again, this gentleman, you know, I feel like it was very easy for him to join in with people, and he had that easy flow about him with his nature and his personality.
Yes.
Could absolutely turn his hand to anything, like fixing anything. He would always look at it. He was a very hands-on, physical type person.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Righty. And I know he loved his horses.
Yes.
And it was just the way the horses were treated, truly any human would be privileged.
Yes.
And I almost feel as though he was very, very particular about their food, the level of different things in their food.
Not sure.
Okay, because I feel him being that fussy about them. And I could feel him cloaking them up at night and making sure they're warm and all that sort of thing. But I know there was one particular horse that he would not let anybody else ride.
I don't know that either.
Righty, okay. Now, you would be aware, Diana, though, that he actually worked, I feel as though he worked on a ranch at some point.
Yes, he did.
Okay. And many of his skills, he fine-tuned there.
I don't know, but it's likely.
Okay. Alrighty. Because I feel as though at this ranch, he's letting me know he had, it was tough. It was not only tough work, but his colleagues were tough, and they were tough on each other.
Yes, I can see that.
Now, Diana, am I correct in saying you would know that his hat is still somewhere?
I don't know.
Because I feel his hat is hung up somewhere. Alrighty. Okay. Now, I also feel with this gentleman, he had trouble settling down, can I say?
I don't know that either.
Okay, because I feel this restlessness in him, like he never achieved absolutely everything he wanted to.
I can see that, sure.
Okay. Would you be aware too, with his rodeo activities, I feel as though he would have actually been teaching others.
I don't know that either. Sorry.
I don't know. Okay, Diana, well, I'll leave you with just, again, lots of encouragement. Mm-hmm. And it's I know the theme today is unstoppable, but I need to give you a bit of that unstoppable power at the moment. Can you understand that?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And, even take that right down to grassroots in your life and build up from grassroots, like our lovely Rosemary was talking about, getting up in the morning, getting activated, and just keep on working. Can you understand that?
I can, yes.
Okay. So, I feel this gentleman is just bringing in a lot of confidence, and I almost just want to raise my hat and go, yes, ma'am. It was very much like that.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Diana.
Thank you, Shirley Ann.
That's it from me, Sandra, unless Kerry would like to leap on in.
I think we're just perfect given time-wise, but thank you so much, really, for stepping in last minute and being unstoppable and being here no matter what it took and how early you woke up this morning. So thank you. Really, thank you, Shirley Ann.
My pleasure.
And there's still more to come. Now, just to give you a little coming attraction, don't miss our closing video, because remember Rosemary said she went hang gliding? Well, we actually have some pictures in our closing video of that. So you want to stay tuned for that. So just some announcements. First of all, thank you those who have donated to make our Sunday gathering possible. We really do appreciate your donations. Not mandatory, but when they come in, we are very sincerely grateful. Also want to tell you some things that are coming up. Let's flash forward to next Saturday, shall we? There's a special 5-hour class with Carrie and Phil called The Altered States. And maybe you've seen our friend Scott on a Friday do a trance demonstration, or you just saw Shirley Ann, or maybe you've seen Carrie and Phil do the medium demonstration. It almost seems like they go in a different zone. We ask you to sit for healing. Perhaps you've done some meditation or sitting in the power. Those are all different states of mind. So next Saturday is a 5-hour class. It's open to all, whether you have any experience or not, but you can really gain that edge to let the mind work for you as opposed to having the mind do what it wants to do. So that's the altered states. Tomorrow, we are starting a class on trance and the altered states, a little bit different though, with our friend Scott Milligan and myself. It's a 2-hour class. On Tuesday, there's a wonderful class, brand new, starting with Carrie and Phil for the month of July, called Psychometry and Other Psychic Tools. So again, that's an opportunity to get on the court, my friends. If you have an object that is old and belonged to someone else, they're asking if you have any of the divination cards, if you'd like to bring those along, perhaps some ribbons, different objects that are unique. Perhaps even an old or a photograph of somebody that's alive. You're going to be tapping into your psychic ability in a very fun and unique way. That's on Tuesday. Before that and after that, our friend Scott will be doing 2 Sitting in the Power hours. A beautiful opportunity to close your eyes and just surrender to the power. Wednesday starts our psychic development class with Phil and Carrie. Thursday starts our mediumship class with Phil and Carrie. And if you're interested in mediumship, going through our psychic class is really the way to get started, because you use the same skills, so to speak. And then on Friday, we have our In the Arms of Eternity, where we begin with Sitting for Healing with Scott Milligan. And that goes on to a demonstration of trance mediumship with a very extraordinary conversation with a person in the spirit world, where you can ask pretty much any question on life, death, and the afterlife. Really extraordinary. And that's it for announcements. I just want to shout out, though, to our friends in America. Happy Independence Day. And I'm going to turn it over to Carrie for some words for the week.
So just before Carrie speaks, thank you, Sandra. It is an absolute wonder to be here. Wild horses or COVID-19 was never going to stop us from coming on and supporting Rosemary, Shirley Ann, and all of us. Rosemary, you are a true inspiration, not just to the We Don't Die community, but everybody out there. And we are so enriched for having you within our classes, because I know everyone enjoys working with you. It is an absolute pleasure. Shirley Ann, thank you so much for stepping in on behalf of me and Kerry. We really do appreciate it. You are one of many people within that community that we can rely on for your style, your courage, your bravery of getting up so early, but also your wonderful evidence that you give on behalf of the spirit world. And it isn't just evidence that you throw out, it's a story of life. You could follow every single piece, every single bit of information, how it all went together. So from me and Kerry, thank you both so much. And I know it's been planned by Sandra. She's an amazing lady. And it's always good to see Darren as well. And now I'll hand over to the wonderful Carrie McLeod.
And it's my pleasure to be able to deliver the words of the week for today. Well, I don't know what I can say that hasn't already been said by our dear Rosemary and our dear Sandra. There has been an incredible amount of words given that are testament to people's struggles, strifes, and journeys, and yet they're still unstoppable. Sandra talked about in her reading the 15 steps of unstoppable people, and I recognise some in that of many people I know, and I know that it's present within the We Don't Die team, but I also know that that We Don't Die team is growing larger and larger because our family is growing larger and larger, and we didn't even have to give birth. Isn't that a plus? We've got mediums, we've got speakers, we've got friends, we've got acquaintances, we've got colleagues joining us that are all part of this unstoppable team. We Don't Die is an incredible vehicle for getting the word of the spirit world out there and inspiring the living. So thank you for being part of that family today on our Sunday gathering, and have a look at what you can take from Sandra's reading, but also what Rosemary said in her address. I wonder how much of that has put context into the things that you are in experiencing just now, not to undermine or to belittle, but to just give you courage to keep being that unstoppable person you know you are. I'm going to pass to Darren for the closing prayer. Thank you.
Thank you for those words, Kerry. And as always, it's always a pleasure to work with Phil, Kerry and Sandra week in and week out. But it's nice to have special guests as well, like Shirley Ann. It's been nice to work with you again. And like Phil said, it's been lovely to hear you demonstrate and give your evidence. So thank you for that. And Rosemary, what can I say? It's the first time I've ever had the privilege of working with you. And your story was an absolute inspiration. So thank you so much for sharing that. And what can I say? You're the ambassador for being unstoppable, I think. So thank you. And I hope, and I'm sure you've definitely left with me with thoughts going forward. You know, you're the inspiration. So thank you so much for that. So if you'd all like to close your eyes and join me for the closing prayer. We'd like to thank our friends, brothers and sisters from across the globe for coming here together today, uniting together as one under that banner of We Don't Die. And thank you for allowing and having the faith and the trust in the unseen world to truly unite the two worlds together as one. We'd like to truly express our sincere thanks and gratitude to our friends, family, helpers and loved ones of that world we call unseen, for being here with us today and every Sunday for our Sunday gathering, truly showing us the meaning of unconditional love, and for your words and your thoughts which have truly brought inspiration and upliftment to all of us. We can all take away from this gathering our own unique experience. Each and every one of us workers here today is truly grateful for the opportunity presented to us, allowing us to work with your world and represent your world. And as always, this is done with the utmost truth and integrity and to the best of our understanding and abilities. And we hope we've truly made you proud here today and represented you in a positive way. As we bring this Sunday gathering to a close, we do so with absolute joy and love within our hearts and our minds as we continue our own journeys of life. And as we do so, we go forward, continuing to be unstoppable, not allowing any obstacles, obstructions to get in our way. But we can do this in the comfort and knowledge to know that you continue to walk by our side, helping us, guiding us, and inspiring us to truly be the best individuals that we can be. And as always, we ask that the healing balm continues to be shared across our globe and continues to bring that upliftment, that healing, that happiness, and that unconditional love to all those hearts and minds that may be in need at this time. Until next week, friends. Amen.
Thank you so much, Darren. And thank you, everybody. It's just like I want to do a group hug with everybody here in our community right now. We're going to move on to our closing song. Again, Rosemary picked a beautiful song, and she's put pictures to it of her hang gliding adventure. So I have goosebumps. You're going to love it. Here we go.